And as is your custom here, we now prepare to listen to the words of the Holy Gospel as we proclaim together.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman of that district came out and called to him, "Have pity on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But Jesus did not say a word in answer to her. Jesus' disciple came and said to him, "Send her away, for she keeps calling out after us." He said in reply, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But the woman came and did Jesus homage, saying, "Lord, help me." He said in reply, "It is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Please, Lord, for even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their masters." Then Jesus said to her in reply, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And then the woman's daughter was healed from that hour. The Gospel of the Lord. Lately, you have probably heard a lot about self-care. We are constantly asked, "How are you doing?" Or "What are you doing to take care of yourself?" I always tell caretakers that I admire them for what they do, but that they need respite from their ministry whenever possible. Respite has also become a cottage industry. Many people have started respite organizations to look to give rest to caretakers. Respite, I think that's exactly what Jesus is seeking in today's gospel. He leaves the Jewish territory and heads to the regions of Tyre and Sidon. These are areas of Canaanites or Gentiles, people who Jesus did not see as the people he was sent to save. When a Canaanite woman starts to call him, he ignores her, but she is persistent and keeps calling to him. The disciples say, "Send her away." But the woman has called out some distinctive phrases to Jesus. She calls him Son of David. David was looked to be the protector of widows and orphans. These phrases would make Jesus listen. The woman, a Canaanite, knew Jewish heritage. Jesus, though, still is not willing to accept her or acknowledge her. He actually demeans her by saying, "It is not right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs." Today, we may see people call each other dog as a term of friendship. Actually, I call one of my friends here at church dog. I might say, "Hey dog, what's up?" But in the time of Jesus, it was common for the Jews to call Gentiles or pagans dog, but not in a respectful manner. The passage from Matthew is as much about boundaries as it is about healing. Jesus, as I said earlier, was looking for respite by moving out of the Jewish territory and into the land of the Gentiles. There is a definite division between the people, as the disciple tells Jesus, "Send her away. She is not one of us." Jesus had preset perceptions of his mission and focus. He had set his boundaries. He had come to serve and save the chosen. the children of Israel. This woman and her daughter were outside the box of Jesus' people. The Canaanite people were arch enemies of the Jewish people. Have we set or preset our boundaries? Have we judged and ruled out people from our boundaries? We heard the term dog in the gospel, and I'd like you to put into your mind a picture of a dog that is free to run in the yard. The owner of the yard, for many reasons, decides to put up an invisible dog fence around the yard. A passerby doesn't see anything, but the dog feels a shock if it tries to pass its boundaries. The Canaanite woman in the gospel has, in a sense, shocked Jesus' sense of boundary. Her persistence pays off, as Jesus finally says, "Great is your faith. Let it be done as you wish." The woman's daughter is healed, and Jesus has realized the bigger picture. It was through this woman's faith and persistence that Jesus granted her her request to have her child healed. Matthew's gospel leaves us with a challenge. Have we set up invisible fences around us, around our families? And if we have, how can we take them down? There is no question with the recent situations in our own country and the attacks in Spain, France, and other European and Asian nations, the fences that separate us must be brought down, and we must focus on the things we have in common. And like the woman in Matthew's gospel, we must be persistent in our goals for unity and peace. At this time, I would ask you to join me and open your hymn books to hymn number 702 and help Ron and I sing the prayer to St. Francis. I bring Ron to save me. May we be able to accept and love those who are not one of us, as Jesus showed us the way in today's gospel.